Hi, my name is Mel. I spend a lot of time talking about Black Butler on the internet, and today I want to talk to you guys about the Season 2 OVA, The Making of Kuroshitsuji II. It's a really, of all the negative and neutral things I could say about this OVA, one positive thing is that it is a really fun and creative idea, especially for a silly little OVA spin-off type of deal. If you're not familiar with the OVA, it is essentially a mockumentary / behind the scenes style of like interview and behind the scenes footage that operates under the pretense of Black Butler as a live action TV show and all of the characters are actors. It's a modern actor AU for Black Butler that I think should be considered canon, if not at least just half canon, under the pretense that it is technically official content. It is the official Modern Actors AU. Any other AU has not been recognized by the Black Butler brand. Really and truly, the first couple seasons of the anime are AUs in and of themselves, but that's okay. I just think it's really fun that they played with the characters in this way that a lot of series don't really do, partially because they actually have a story to tell, and OVAs are either one-off character study type of things, or just seeing the characters interact, or it's, like the case of Book of Murder, more adaptation of the manga. Honestly, I can't think of a single anime or show that has this kind of like OVA type of thing where it's not actually set in the universe as the show itself, if that makes any sense. So that's pretty interesting and something very unique to season 2 of Black Butler. And so good for them. Good for them. I also think it's really funny that the writers for this particular OVA seems to be aware that the season 2 script had a lot of flaws and a lot of weaknesses, and they use the characters in this OVA to point that out. Alois does not like the script. He thinks it's stupid. Claude has issues with the script, thinks that Claude, the character, acts out of character, and I think that's really funny. I also think it's funny that the OVA makes a point to show that while they are actors playing characters, the characters they are playing are essentially just themselves. A lot of the personalities, intelligence and wisdom levels, and also character dynamics do not change on screen nor off screen. Sebastian still treats Ciel like his master, and Sebastian still acts like a butler, even though they're both actors, presumably on equal footing. Alois?
Yes, I'd seen the first series. In the sequel, the boy I'm playing has it in for Ciel. Or maybe it's Sebastian, I don't really know. I'm gonna crush that brat Ciel like the wriggling maggot he is. I do hope you enjoy it.
So, okay. The characters that are original to season 2, like Alois, Claude, Hannah, they are different from their on-screen personas. Claude, in this OVA, when he's not acting, feels more like just an everyday guy. Like, he doesn't feel creepy. He's just a guy there to do his job. And the only, like, slightly negative scene is when he's talking to the director about how the script is bad and how he thinks Claude, the character, would never do what's in the script. And that is the only time he's ever painted in a negative light. Hannah is characterized like your stereotypical bitchy actress that has a horrible attitude, and from what I remember of season 2, that doesn't really fit her. So that was interesting. That was an interesting character choice. And then the triplet demons, Timber, Thompson, oh, and I forget the other one's name. They're all one person playing 3 roles, and I do think it's funny. They make a point to say that while he's playing 3 roles, he only gets paid for one of them, so he would be in support of the actor strike that is currently going on in the US. I just dated this video, but you know what? That's okay. Thompson says, pay your actors, give them rights. We're all good. Another thing that I think is funny, they have Angelina and Grell show up, and Angelina is kind of like Grell's assistant and like doing her makeup and everything. And Grell is also one of those very stereotypical, hard to work with actresses when she doesn't have her makeup on. But at the same time, it's also like, yeah, you should be able to expect people to respect your privacy, because the only thing that she's negative about is she doesn't want to be recorded without her makeup on. And that's fair, but it's also played up for laughs and like, oh, look how ridiculous this character is being, because it is very extreme instances. Like, for example, there's this one part towards like the later half of the episode where Lizzie is going around and essentially vlogging behind the scenes. And she goes up to Grell, and she's like, Grell, can I see you for a second? And Grell turns around, sunglasses, mask on, and she's like, I thought I said, do not record me when I don't have makeup on. And she whips out that chainsaw and scares the crap out of Lizzie. Honestly, I feel like that's pretty in character. As much as they're making Grell out to be a spectacle, I feel like she is also a little vain in some senses, and it fits. Lizzie is also always, the same. She's the same. I do think it's funny they let Lizzie curse.
I'm simply one hell of a fiancé!
They said she's one hell of a fiancé. I've never seen Lizzie curse ever. I might be wrong because I haven't watched seasons 1 or 2 of the anime in a while, but in the manga she doesn't. Because she's a proper little lady. She's a little lady. She would never. But her actress would. I thought that was really cute. There was, so this came out in, I think, 2010. I'm not exactly sure if the DVDs for season 2 came out in 2010 or early 2011. But I do think it's funny. There was a musical that was an original story made for Black Butler called The Most Beautiful Death in the World. It's a really good musical. We'll talk about that in another video later, probably, because I really like it. But there was a behind the scenes video. It was like a 30-minute long video of all the different like practices, rehearsals, and behind the scenes like on actual performance days from the original cast of the 2010 musical run. And I used to watch it all the time on YouTube. If I could find clips, I might include them in this video if I can track that back down again. But it was very cute and very much in the same essence as what this OVA was trying to do in some scenes. There's even a part where they're celebrating Sebastian's birthday on set and they surprise him with a cake. And I distinctly remember in the behind the scenes musical video that one of the actors did celebrate their birthday during like one of their performances. It has been a very long time, so if that exists, I'll roll the footage. So it was these little similarities that I thought were really funny. I don't think it was intentional because I'm not sure if there was enough time for this to happen and this video, the musical video, to be made and then the OVA to copy tidbits of it. I think it's just general, like, oh, this could happen if this were real. But I do think the similarities are very, very funny, and I love that a lot. I cannot talk about this OVA without talking about the trailer for season 2 that they have at the end of it. It's whatever they filmed is definitely not the show that we, the anime viewers, got. That's for sure. It's almost like the writers knew that season 2 made no damn sense, and they played up to that, and they made it even more of a spectacle and more of an absurdity in the OVA. Because in the trailer at the end of the OVA, it starts off kind of standard, but very definitely not the season 2 we actually got. Then we have Prince Soma Naruto running because he can, and he's in action trying to protect and save CL. Honestly, it's cute. There's lots of like different moments that definitely have never happened in the anime, and it's like very typical absurd season 2 type of stuff. And then all of a sudden aliens show up when Ciel and Aloise were having a confrontation, and it's like one thing after another, and it's very clearly a parody. And I love that so much. And then at the end of the trailer, Tanaka comes up with a little sign that's like, yeah, we made all that up, so sorry, we're still working on production. I love it so much. Oh, so there was a tidbit after we had interviews with all the actors, and they talked about how much they were excited to be back on the show, and a lot of the characters distinctly said, I have no idea what's going on in this show, but I sure am happy to be here.
So many twists, my heart's all aflutter.
I feel a bit daft. I have no clue what's going on.
Same here.
And honestly, I think that's how most of us felt when we watched season 2 for the first time, and that's how a lot of people continue to feel when they watch season 2. So that is actually really accurate to the show we actually got. But after that bit, we get a segment where it's like, oh no, everything's going wrong, and they get rained out, and Alistair Chamber, Viscount Druitt, he's like, oh no, I guess that means we can't film the show. Yay! And honestly, vibe. And then we get scenes where Ciel and Sebastian were filming something, and the building set broke. And Sebastian's like, oh, I'm so glad I never hurt Ciel. But it tore the heck out of his ankle or something. Like, he hurt his leg. And then he was just back the next day. Like, it's so funny because it takes the characteristics of these characters in the context of Black Butler, and it pulls them out of that context and then throws it into a modern actor AU with no explanation. Like, I'm pretty sure Sebastian's not supposed to be a demon actor, but he still has those characteristics of, I can do anything, I'm going to do anything, I don't care that my ankle's probably broken, I'm still gonna come here and do stunts. I also thought it was cool that they brought Angela and Ash, the gender fluid angel, but also 2 characters from season 1, they brought them back. And they were like, yeah, we're usually not actors, we're actually stage directors, which is pretty cool. They did talk about how Ash does stunt choreography and stunt doubles for the male actors, and Angela handles the female actors, and then she specifically goes to talk about how she works with Grell. So that's the anime directly saying Grell is in fact a woman, which I thought was kind of nice. I thought that was nice. My absolute favorite part of this OVA, though, is the little clip where Ciel is accepting a Grammy, an Emmy? I think it's an Emmy, where Ciel is accepting an Emmy, and he looks so stupid, and everyone looks so stupid, because it's very, like, this OVA, animation is hard. I'm very aware of this. I've taken 2D animation classes and 3D animation classes. I'm not great at it. So, mad respect to all animators in the industry. But season 2 was a little rough. It was a little rough around the edges. And this OVA was rough around the edges at its best parts. Downright laughable at its worst. So, although, as I say this, we do have to recognize that the anime industry is incredibly, incredibly overworked. So, I know these animators are probably doing their best under a time crunch. I don't know if they were sleeping or seeing their families. So I try to remember that when I start being too mean on animation in anime. There were a lot of interesting nuggets in this OVA. There was the clip where Aberline takes off his Aberline mask and reveals that he's Vincent Phantom Hive. There was a clip where Finny was their grandpa, and he comes in and he's like, oh no, my son and my grandson fighting. And Mayrin was Ciel's sibling, because she comes in and she's like, "Don't kill my brother." There's a lot of fun scenes. I don't know if that particular thing was has any merit to it for being hints of the fact that Ciel does in fact have a sibling, but because it's so like absurd and ridiculous, and I think they were just kind of pulling things out just to make it extra over the top. But it is kind of funny because season 2, if you guys have seen my friend Nullbird, they did a video essay about season 2, and season 2 does kind of accidentally, or maybe intentionally, talk about a lot of things from the manga that hadn't happened yet and wasn't going to happen for quite some time, like a decade even. As considering the 2CL theory and real CL, the twins and all that. So that's really interesting. CL did curse the entire production of season 2 though, when he said that it was going to be really good and not be a failure. I'll roll the clip, because it's very damning.
I decided the story had creative merit after all. Guess it spoke to me. First series was good, this one will be better.
Bad omen. Bad omen for sure. Another really fun thing about this OVA is just getting to see all of the little outfits that they put our silly little Blorbos in. Hannah's dress, Ciel's little t-shirt, vest, and shorts number, Aloise's outfit, his cardigan looks really cozy, actually. Sebastian looks like a very standard kind of emo heartthrob from 2010, which checks out because it was made in 2010. So that's pretty fun. Grell's modern outfit is kind of very similar to her actual canon outfit, or a outfit that we see her in later in the manga, just like a red trench coat type of deal. Nothing too special there, but it's still pretty cool. The accidental prediction going on here. I did think it was really fun how they did incorporate a lot of the anime-only characters from season 1 into the production staff for season 2, because if you guys remember, the Ghost brothers, Edward, and that other one, they're the directors, or the older one, Edward, is the director, which was pretty cool. They also made Drossel and Pluto band members that worked on the music for the anime, and honestly, this clip speaks for itself.
No boy, bad boy, okay boy, good boy, good boy, no boy, bad boy, okay boy, good boy, no boy, bad boy.
I also think it's really funny how there's a clip where they're talking to Lao's actor, and he's like, "Yeah, I have no clue what's going on here. It's really weird, but I'm very intrigued on how they're going to pull a story out of the ashes of how season 1 ended. Like, there's no way they could do it. So I'm very curious to see how they do it." And Lizzie's like, "Yeah, I'm really curious too. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do it." And it's like a running theme that a lot of the actors are like, "Yeah, season 1 was like kind of its thing, and now we're trying to add on to that. Like, it's a complete story in and of itself. How are we gonna add on to this?" I think that's the writers being very self-aware of what they attempted to do with season 2. So that's really fun. I really hope that making this OVA let the writers rant about whatever they went through writing season 2. There was also a fun bit where the Aberline actor was also a CGI artist, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm making the train." Also, gratuitous Yuri. Or fan service, I don't know. Yeah, the Making of Kuroshitsuji II is a very silly mockumentary type of thing, and I think it's fun. It's ridiculous, it's over the top, it's absurd, but it's absurd in a way that's on purpose, and it feels like it's on purpose. It's very camp. Season 2, I think, is absurd, but it doesn't feel like it's absurd on purpose, if that makes any sense. It's either absurd on accident, or they tried so hard to do it on purpose that they overstepped the fun and coolness of making absurd art and just went in the deep end of what even was that, you know? But this OVA, I feel like they reined it back in. They got it under control. They were like, we know the right level of absurdity to make this fun, over the top, and camp. And they did that. I feel like they were very successful in that. This was really ridiculous, really fun. And I don't know if I want them to make more like this, but it was very cool, and I think also a staple of 2010. Not that it was a staple of 2010 in the idea that this was very influential, but it feels like it was made in 2010. The fashion, the vibes, just everything about it feels 13 years old. But that's not a bad thing, per se. It's kind of like a time capsule a little bit, and I think that's fun. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about this without just sitting down and recapping it scene by scene, but I don't think anyone wants to watch that, and quite frankly, I don't really want to make that. I do enough of that sitting down and recapping scene by scene in the manga deep dives. If you've seen this OVA, what were your favorite moments from it? And if you've not seen this OVA, I do genuinely recommend watching it, and it does not spoil anything for the actual story of season 2. So you could just kind of like go in, watch it, feel confused, and also amused. For real though, that's been it. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video, whatever that may be. I'm kind of going off the fly here with all the fun, like, smaller Black Butler videos that I wanted to make while I wait until I am able to purchase the next manga volumes that I need for Black Butler. My manga collection has gaps, and while I wait to fill in those gaps and get my life together, I'm going to be making more of these less scripted, more casual Black Butler videos talking about the anime or things related to the fandom. And who knows, I might go ahead and make the big video on the musicals that I've been wanting to make, because I've recently acquired the ability to watch the Tango on the Campagna and the Secrets of the Public School, I think is what it was called. The two musicals that I hadn't seen. So now I'm really, really excited about that. So I might actually start scripting that, and who knows when that'll be done, but there's that. But anyway, I've got a lot of Black Butler things planned, and I've got a lot of non-Black Butler things that I want to start talking about soon as well. Do any of y'all like Pandora Hearts? I was thinking about doing a Pandora Hearts video. I don't know if it would be like a deep dive style of video, or if it would be like a, hey, if you like Black Butler, you might like this series type of thing. Because I was thinking that could be a fun little series of videos to make, kind of recommendations. I'm very off topic now. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking of doing while we wait for the rest of the deep dives. Again, thank you so much for being patient. I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying the deep dives and the other Black Butler related videos that I've been making, and I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you're having a lot of fun, and I don't think I have anything else to say in this video, so in order to keep from rambling for 30 years, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call it, alright? Bye!